Okay, hi everyone, it's the 24th of September. This is today's recorded stretch class. Health and safety speech. Remember, don't do things that feel like they're hurting you. Don't do things you're not sure that they're going to do you any good or not. And make sure you're in a safe area for exercise. Okay, let's do it. So I'm going to be doing, I think, mostly backs and shoulders today. A little bit of legs because everything's connected, but yeah, mostly kind of hips upwards, I think, today. So yeah, look right and left when you're ready. Oh, having said that, I'm quite stiff through my neck and shoulders. I didn't know until I started warming up. Drop your head side to side, little stretch. And then a little head roll right and left. And try that head roll to the back. So maybe a little bit more time going into spine, shoulders and neck today, just on the warm up. And then bring your head to centre. And give me some shoulder circles. Remember, those shoulder circles want to move all the way into the upper back, so squeeze at the back and round the shoulders at the front. And bringing those elbows up. And into full circles. Getting that real definite squeeze. So you're not just flailing your arms in circles, you're really feeling how the muscles and the joints react to each other. Change directions. So nice big squeezes between the shoulder blades. And into rotator cuffs, just squeezing and circling inside the shoulders. So my elbows are straight. I often see people doing this and they kind of have bent arms. The move is totally coming out of the shoulder socket. And just into a stretch and twist. Let's make this a bit more definite and big. So as I push across, I'm looking for a stretch down my waist and ribs. So really, really push. And let's do 4 more, and 3 more. And 2 more, and last one into our side bend this time. And then I'm going to go across the centre with a straight spine. And then I'm swimming backstroke, so it'll be your right arm goes back to the hip and look up. Then you're swimming front crawl, flat spine, roll across the centre. So it'll be the left arm goes back to the left leg, right arm comes up. So you're swimming front crawl, cross the centre, swimming backstroke. Front crawl, centre, backstroke. Let's do 1 more. Whew. Okay, and then into a side bend again, this side. Oh, okay, so you want to turn your face to look to the ceiling, turn your palm to the ceiling and do me 3 circles and 2 circles. And last one, then changing directions, 3 and 2 and 1, and then bring your weight a little bit lower, straight arm at the top. Make sure you're not tilting forwards or backwards. I just caught myself slightly tilting forwards, and the bottom arm comes up 3 times and 2 times. Whew. Last one, and then back to centre. Let's change sides. So into your side bend, palm facing the ceiling, look to the ceiling. We've got 3 and 2 and 1, then changing directions, 3 and 2 and 1, then take it into the side bend, a little bit further. Ooh, again, watch out for any forwards or backward movement, so you don't want to be kind of side bending like so. And we got 3 and 2 and 1, then back to centre. Woo! Okay, from here, this time bring your hands behind your head. And all I'm going to do is just go into circles, but the circles are coming from my rib cage and upper back. So if I kind of tilt off to the side, thinking about the stretch in the side of the rib cage, then going forwards, kind of gently, gently pushing the back of the head, but certainly no real pressure. And then I'm opening to the back. Really open the elbows. Push your chest up to face the ceiling. Let's do 3 each way. So look for the side bend, look for the back bend, look for the side bend, and look for that real chest opening feeling. 1 more. And then we're going to change directions. Whew. So side bend, little upper back stretch, side bend, and then opening the elbows, look to the ceiling. So really think about it coming from your upper back. We don't need to be going into like full back bends. Arching the lower back at this point. And last one. Love doing these. Oh, so yes, there it is. And then going into our hip circles. So the shoulders are staying still. And you can kind of visualise, if you picture the skeleton on the inside, of course, the lower back is circling, the pelvis is going round, and the thigh bones are sitting into the hip sockets, kind of moving too. There's quite a lot happening here. Change directions. Da, 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 and it looks sexy-ish. Now keep the pelvis still, and let's move the circles from the rib cage. Remember, if you're not sure how to do a rib circle, kind of join the dots. So it's side, front, side, back, and you just kind of join those 4 points. Change directions. There we go. And of course, if you do hips and ribs at the same time, you get a bigger circle. And I'm going to change directions. So there's no need right now for this, but it just gives you a bigger effect, even though it's the same 2 movements we've been doing. Okay, good stuff. Let's do some squats. Squats get us warm, if nothing else. So 10, up, and 9, and 8, 7, 6, 5, yeah, I'm warm, 4, 3, 2, bend the feet wider, 1, plie, 10, and 9, and 8, 7, you can't hear it I don't think, but there's just a very small click coming out of my left hip right now, 4, 3, hold it down on the last one, 2, stay down there, and 1. So my bum is the same height as my knees, and I'm just going to flex at the ankles, every little helps. And then I'm going to point here, point, point, point. Poof, and then just pushing the knees apart. If I really push the right leg and drop the right shoulder, you get quite a nice little twist there as well. And then changing sides, I'm going to push, bam, into this left knee twist. There we go. Okay, and find your way back to centre. Go a little bit lower. Whew. Okay, so we're going to come up as slowly as we can. Take those hands off your legs and coming up for 5, 4, or even slower. 3, 2, and back up. 1, yay! Okay, deep squats. So I'm going to drop into my deep squat here, trying to keep my spine in neutral position. Remember, neutral has curves. Neutral isn't a flat back. The lower back is supposed to curve in a tiny bit. The upper back's meant to curve out a tiny bit. It's just not meant to be massive arches. I'm going to see if I can get down with a neutral spine. Eek, there it is. And then when you finally reach the bottom, you will slightly round your back. If you can't keep your heels flat to the floor, they might lift a little bit, but we're trying to keep them flat. Now roll your way up. So scoop in those abs. Rolly, 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 rolly. And 2 more of those. So I'm going right down, keeping my spine neutral. And then it'll round a little bit, which then tells you to start moving up. And 1 more. So for me to keep my spine neutral, I have to really think about pushing my knees quite wide apart. That might just be my little trick, but that's how it feels when I'm doing these. Okay, let's go into a roll down this time, so the reverse version, rolling down. So my spine's starting to feel quite nice and squidgy now. Just getting everything to move. So I'm here, I'm trying to push my chest forwards and lift into a neutral spine position and come back up. Yes, roll down. And then chest up. And 1 more. Oh, I'm quite tired today. I can feel I could quite happily do just these nice kind of slow easy mobility exercises today. It's quite pleasant. Ooh, okay. So going into IYTs, and just something that came up in yesterday's pole class, a lot of people were struggling to get their arms to comfortably go back. So I think IYTs can definitely help. If you've got something to lean on, my mum's attic's ace, it's just so much stuff in. You could, for example, lean across a chair because then it's comfortable and you're supported as you do your exercises. Or if you haven't got anything to lean over, then you'll just have to take a bow forwards and crack on. I'm actually going to use this chair and see how it goes. Okay, so getting my back supported, so that just takes one set of effort out. If you are doing this without a chair to lean on, then slightly bend the knees and make sure the spine's neutral. So IYT will do 10 of each. So I'm going to try and take my thumbs to the ceiling, and it's going 10, 9, 8. It's back of the shoulders really. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then the wide. This one's nice with weights. If I happen to have some little weights, 7, 6, 5. There is actually a set of weights in the corner over there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then T, 10, 9. Notice if one arm's slightly higher than the other. They should be equal. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so 10 times IYT. So I'm going to go I, Y, T. 9 more. I, Y, T. I, Y, T. This is number 4. I can't count backwards. And 5. And 6. 7. Tell you what, it's starting to hurt my chest a bit on this wicker chair. Woo! 9. And 10. Whew. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that's put an interesting print on my chest. Let's move the chair out of the way. Okay, so from here, just going into the ballistic stretches. Remember, ballistic is basically faster. So if I can kind of bounce into a stretch, I'm likely to go slightly further. There are pros and cons to ballistic stretching. You've got to use it carefully because you could start throwing things out of joint. So we'll just do 10. Allowing the spine to pop into this one as well. So I'm going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then I'm going to bring my leg into it. So I always just pop for balance here. I'm allowing my spine to move a bit, but I'm really trying to think about this bum muscle, sending the leg back. The 10. Just watch out for furniture. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Changing sides. I'm just going to get my balance here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Going into our leg lift, simply because it's one I want to include every week, because it's one that if you leave it for too long, it gets really difficult again. So just going to do my leg lift. I'm not going to hold anything. I'm going to just try and balance this today. Let's see what happens. So keeping your spine lifted, we got 5, 4, you know these, you've done them. 3, 2, 1, then leg extension. 5, all the way to the leg locks. 4, 3, 2, tap down. 1, so we go 5 and lift, 4 and lift, 3 and lift, 2 and 1. Hold at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Oh, I'm a bit achy today. You don't know that you're aching until you try and do stuff. To the side, here it comes. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Extend. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Tap down. 5 and lift, 4 and lift, 3 and 2 and 1. Hold at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Just before we change sides, just boring facts for you. Extension and flexion are two moves you hear quite a lot in in movement terms. So flexion of the spine is this, extension of the spine is this, flexion of the knee goes the other way though, and extension is this way. Basically, if you picture the guy in the circle, you know, the anatomy guy, generally, not for everything, but generally, flexion is going forwards and out of the circle forwards, extension is going backwards and out of the circle. Having said that, flexion, extension, I'm not sure how that works for legs. That would be the hip flexing, that would be the hip extending. But why is that flexing? I'll think about that later. Anyway, other leg, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, he's called Vitruvian Man, the guy that stands in the circle. Extend the leg, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, hold it, 1, tap down. So yeah, I'm going to go off and find out the exact definitions of flex and extend. 3, and 2, and 1, then hold at the top, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To the side, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it, 1, extend, 5, and 4, so this is knee extension, 3, and 2, and 1, tap down, 5, and lift, 4, 3, 2, I'm certainly warm anyway, 1, and hold at the top, 5, woo, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I'm going to do just one more standing warm-up, then we'll go to the floor. This is a wall warm-up. So I'm going to move my camera, sorry. We normally do this sitting, and I might do it sitting as well. But it's quite nice while I have a little patch of wall to do this with the wall. So I just got to find a spot where my camera can see it. Okay, that should do the job. Okay, so the further away from the wall, I think the less bend you need for this, so you can make it harder or easier. So I'm just going to stand here. You don't need to see my head, it's going to appear in a minute anyway. And we do this on the floor. So I'm going to, just a reminder, clenching your bum starts to push you into a little back arch anyway with no pressure on the lower back, and then the spine will bend slightly. So I'm pushing my hips forwards, bum clench, my lower back's not really doing anything just yet, and I'm going to go across, find the wall, and come back, changing sides. So I'm going across, find the wall, and come back. Let's do that 10 times. This is number 3 for me. Across, and maybe as you get braver, find the wall a little bit lower. Oh, that's 4. This is 5. And I'm definitely getting braver and going just a little bit lower with each one. 6. I will never not feel like I'm dying when I do back bends. Every single one makes me feel like I'm going to die. Last 2. And last one. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, let's go to the mat. Yay! Whew. Okay, so when you're ready, just hop over to your mat. Just nice, easy cat-cow stretch. So sad cat, happy cat, and disco cat. So curling forwards and curling backwards. So it's not difficult, but it's just nice on your back is this one. And then into some circles, side, ceiling, side and down. Changing directions. Oh. And let's take this up into a downward dog position. So remember, that's a nice big triangle. So you're pressing your heels down to the floor, nice straight line from your hands up to your shoulders. So I find that if I take my hands further forwards, I get a little bit more calf stretch. And if I take my hands further back, I get a little bit more hamstring stretch, and you're constantly tipping your bum up to the ceiling. So you can sort of tinker about with this. This is more an upper back focus today though. So what I'm going to do is move my hands forwards, and then I'm going to start pushing my chest down to the floor 10 times. It's going to go push, 1 and 2, 3. Keep pushing into the ground, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. From there, if you just go through to the plank position, I'm going to headbutt this chair in a minute, and up to the upward dog. So you can leave your knees off the ground if you're feeling particularly energetic, or you can put them down if you're not. Okay, let's do 10 more reps. So up to the downward dog position, and we're pushing the chest through and down to the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Through to the plank position, bending the elbows to the upward dog. This isn't strictly yoga, so I'm not being particularly strict about foot or knee positioning. If you want to put the knees down, you can do, but do try and keep your shoulders down, pushing the chest forwards. Whew. Are you ready? Just give your wrists a wriggle. So I'm going to go into a Pilates exercise next. It's actually quite an easy exercise, and if you're very, very flexible, you might not really feel this one. I personally think it's lovely. So here we go. If you've got a yoga block, it's nicer to use a yoga block for this. If you don't really need one. Also, since I've spotted this in my mum's magical attic that contains everything, this is a 1.5 kilo weight. It's nice to use a weight for this. You don't have to at all. So these are both optional. Okay. So this is mainly about the spine twist. You might get a shoulder stretch as well. Because I want my spine to twist as much as possible, when my shoulders are going back that way, my hip is going to push forwards to you guys. Okay? So there's 2 versions of this. We'll do both versions. Version 1, I'm going to lift, turn my head to look to the ceiling, and then really think about twisting from your ribs, pushing that hip forward as you twist. Oh, yes. And I'm just allowing that weight to pull me a tiny bit further. If your hand doesn't reach the floor behind you, not really a problem. You'll still get a good stretch. So that's 1 rep. Oof. There we go, 2 more. So it's quite nice. You can find a water bottle, something nothing too heavy because you'll hurt your shoulder. If you can find something to just hold as you do this, you'll get a little bit more stretch. There it is. I'm pushing my hip forwards. I'm twisting my spine back. And 1 more. And then we'll do version 2. So there's 2 versions of this. Ooh. But yeah, for you people doing broken doll, this is probably an excellent stretch for that kind of movement if you're reaching down to catch the pole. Broken doll is a pole move for anyone that's not a poler. Okay, the other version takes you to the same place but takes a different journey. So I'm going to go around in a circle, and I'm still coming to the same position. And then I'm continuing my circle back to the beginning. 2 more. And actually I'm finding doing this with a weight, because I've not used a weight for it in a long time, is quite hard on my shoulder. And 1 more. So I certainly wouldn't want to go heavier than this 1.5 kilos that I'm using. Whew. Okay, let's change arms. Now I find that I twist a lot better to the right than I do to the left, so for me this is going to be probably a little bit more difficult to twist. Okay, so 3 of each version. It's going up. Make sure you turn your neck. If you're trying to twist and really push your spine but not moving your head, you're sort of going to get stuck. So back we go. And I'm in this nice twist, and I'm pushing this hip forwards to you guys. Oh, 1. Whew. So in Pilates, we'd be thinking a lot more about breathing and core muscles and so on, but I'm just taking this little twist and stretch. And come back. Ay, 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 ay. And 1 more. So I'm allowing my neck to turn. I'm looking back at this massive bookshelf behind me. Pushing the hip forwards. And now the circles. So I'm basically tracing over my head. Allowing that spine to twist. It's taking me to the same stretch. I just took a different path to get there. And around, and 2 more. And last one. So even now, try and push the hip forwards just to increase the twist through the spine. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Oh, that was nice. So I'm going to pop that out of the way for now. Woo! And let's do some hip flexors. Okay, so, whoa, head rush. Don't come up too soon. Okay, so I'm just going to take one leg forwards, making sure those hips are pointing square, straight forwards. It helps to stick your bum out first. That's not the right position. Now I'm going to stick my bum under, and there is the stretch. So trying to find the stretch across the middle of the front of the hip joint. And I can feel actually my front thighs are stretching a little bit today. My quads are a bit sore. Okay. So let's tickle the front foot forwards a little bit. Try and keep your body upright as you drop down. And again, opening the front of the hip joint here. Nice big stretch. So the hip flexors, I think, have quite a major effect on the lower back and pelvis. So we need to stretch the hip flexors in order to get decent back bends happening. Okay, so I'm going to go across, down, and into a circle 5 times. Cross, down, and into the circle. 3, and 4, and 5. Whew. Okay, I've got my trusty block here. Front leg is going a teeny bit further. And then I'm going to do 5 lifts of the block. You can do this empty-handed if you want to. I guess I could do it holding the weight between my hands, but I'm not going to risk that right now. So with my little block, I'm going 1. Keep tucking your tailbone. 2, try and keep your elbows straight. 3, 4, and 5. We're going to hold the next one. Stay there. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come back. Woo! If you straighten the front leg, little hamstring stretch. Stick out your bum. Good stuff. If you want to slide into a little bit of a split, you can do. If you're not really feeling warmed up enough properly for a split, that's fine. And you can always wedge a block under your front leg. Try and get your body upright. That would do nicely. Keep tucking the tailbone, because I really want to emphasize hip flexors today. If you feel like you can do a full split, then you can always throw the block out of the way. I definitely feel just a little bit niggly here. I don't feel properly warmed up right now. Let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's change sides. Woo! All right, give me some tasty hip flexors. So we're starting in that little baby hip flexor stretch. You want to stick your bum out and then tuck the tailbone under. Big old stretch. for the front of the hip joint. And I've always got super tight hips, so I can feel this quite strongly already. Okay, front leg forwards, tickle, 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 tickle. Pop, there we go. And from here I'm going to cross and circle. 4. So it's just bringing that spine into it, real spine twist. 3 and 2 and 1. Now with the block for 5. Oh, sorry, front leg further forwards. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then take it and stay there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, my voice always goes weird when I'm in a back bend. Straightening the front leg into a nice little hamstring stretch, so stick your bum out. Whew. So I want you to really think, when we go forwards into like a sort of split, it's more about really tucking the tailbone, squaring that back hip up so it's facing straight forwards. So if you want to whack a block under your bum, or even 2 blocks, that's fine. So I'm just going to pause here, check things are where they belong. The hip is pointing square straight forwards. I'm happy with that. Whew. So going a little bit further, but I certainly don't feel like I'm in a comfortable split today. Try and keep your body upright. So really emphasise, clench the bum cheek of the back leg, push the hip forwards, and we're staying for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then coming out of it. Woo! Okay, going into a forward fold. But if you do too many back bends in any direction, if I only did bends to the left, eventually that's going to have a bad effect on the spine and the discs. So we've done quite a lot of backwards movements. Let's just do a little forward movement, and for a bonus you get a hamstring stretch too. If you really struggle to sit upright and stick your bum out, sit on your block. It will make it a lot comfier and easier, and you'll get better stretch. So I'm pressing the chest forwards, and I'm just shuffling around into a nice back of thigh stretch here. Pushing those knees straight. Excuse me. There we go. You can play it flexing at the ankles. That will give you a little bit more calf stretch. You can try pointing the feet just to see what the difference is. If you can reach, you can try pulling your own feet back. Oh, that's amazing. And you can try pushing your feet forwards. Yum, yum, yum. They both feel lovely. Or I quite like to do one forwards, one back. Oh, yes. All right, team. Forget about the feet for a second. We're going to inhale, round and lift. And exhale, press that chest forwards and down. Try and make sure your knees are straight. They won't want to straighten. Tell them to behave. One more, breathing in, round and lift. And breathing out, lengthen forwards. All right, let's go into our pigeon pose. So I know my right leg is my bad leg for this. So I'm going to start on the right. Sweeping the leg back. Hips are pointing square straight forwards. Back knee is facing down towards the ground. Now just take a moment to really try and lift. I'm even going to use my block here. Lift and arch slightly. Okay, and then take that moment to curl down. So this is where the real kind of side of bum stretch comes in. Piriformis is one of the hip rotators. Yeah, my legs are quite stiff today for whatever reason. Okay, coming up into a quad stretch. If you need to use a yoga strap to hoist your leg in, that's fine. It's not being a foot to head kind of business, but just bringing that leg in. If you need to hook it in with something, that's fine. Or just grab your leg and pulling the heel towards the bum. So my left foot here that I'm holding is coming to my left bum cheek. Try and tuck the tailbone down, as always. And if you like it, it's not so much a quad stretch, but it's just a thing you can do. And you can slide your toes into your elbow and clasp your hands. For me, I feel it in my ribs there is quite just a nice little side bend. And I think it looks really cool. I like the look of this one. Easiest way out of all this mess is just lean backwards and change sides. So I saved my good leg for the second time around. Good me, yay. So knee should be pointing straight down at the back. Take a moment to arch. So I've got little arms. It's comfy for me to actually put my hands on a block. Oops, I had in my mouth. Oh. And bend. And then I'm going to drop. Ooh. So I can feel a stretch kind of round here-ish. Back knee is facing straight down. Going into a quad stretch for the back leg, so hook it in if you need to. So I'm just bending that leg, making sure the heel is more or less in line with the bum cheek, so right heel to right bum cheek. And you can hold that as a nice stretch. Keep tucking your tailbone down. Or you can slide your foot into your elbow and link, which is quite pleasant. Okay, so again, relax you out of that one. Woo! While we're here, let's do a little pec stretch. Okay, so all I'm going to do is lay on my front, and my arms are in a T shape, so you can't see my other arm, but trust me, it's in the same place. Yeah. Okay. From there, I'm going to use the hand near the camera to push myself backwards. This leg is also going to push back. Think about using your bum muscle to send that leg back. And I'm looking for a stretch across the front of this shoulder down here. If you don't feel it, tickle that back hand. For me at least, it goes that way. So I'm just carefully tickling that arm a little bit higher. Oh, yes. And send that leg a bit further back. He's nice, I like. So if you're not sure what I mean about the hand, you'll see it when I change sides. Woo, so I'm coming back to centre, into my T shape. So, pushing with the other hand, sending this leg back. That's not quite hitting the spot for me. So the hand near the camera now, I'm just going to release, take it a little bit further upwards. By up, I mean sort of in the direction my head's pointing. Okay, so we're going to do some wall stretches. Yay! Oh, I just need to check the time on my computer. Yeah, 40 minutes in. Ooh, okay. So, wall stretches. So once again, I'm just going to move my camera. I'm going to switch it around. Do a little tour of the room. There we go. Okay, so you know these ones. I want my hands shoulder width. I'm going to do this twice. One's shoulder width and one's hands are crossed. So basically I'm taking my arms shoulder width and then I'm pressing my chest towards the wall. And you can sort of keep your chin ever so slightly off the wall, otherwise it gets uncomfortable, as you know from the floor version of this. But I can just start to move down
So the lower I move this, the more stretch. Let's stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Oh, have I said that I hate back bends? I hate back bends. So now I'm doing hands crossed. Same stretch.
So the lower you slide this, the more you're going to feel it. Staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ah, woo! The next one almost always clunks my shoulder, so it's not a good one for me personally to do, but I know for most people it's fine, it's a nice stretch. So I'm going to gingerly do this and hope my shoulders don't pop. Remember, you want to be about rib cage height. So I'm going out here until I'm pretty much flat, and very, very similar to the downward dog exercise. We're just going to push down and through the arms. Really push into the wall as well, and I think that switches on the muscles rather than just letting them be passive. So I'm pushing into the wall, and I'm going 10, 9, just being super careful with this, 8, because I don't want to pop, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Woo! Okay, so I'm going to kneel down by the wall, getting a nice quad stretch. So we're stretching the front of the body, if you will, which will help you arch backwards. So going into a quad stretch, you might want a mat or something to kneel on. You might want something to cushion your foot. I find my foot gets sore on the wall, it gets squashed. But yeah, here we go. So starting with the knee right up to the wall here, in line with the corresponding bum cheek. And if you're not used to this, go slowly, because when you hit the stretch, it's often a bit of a shock. But I'm just pushing into the front leg, and there is a nice quad stretch for me. So you can try and get flat to the wall. Whoa, it's a bit much for me, is that? If you are comfortably flat to the wall, you might find raising your arms also gives you a little bit more stretch. Tuck your tailbone, always tuck the tailbone in these kind of quad and hip stretches. Okay, now I'm going to tickle the front foot forwards slightly and drop this thing. I think it becomes more of a hip stretch, less of a quad stretch, but it's all good stuff. So that now I'm here. I'm going to start arching back,
Finding the wall. If you're comfortable there, you can start bringing your head down. There we go.
oh, and finding my way out of that one. Woo! Let's change sides. Okay, so I've got a bit brain dead now. Hip flexors. No, quad stretch. There we go. So my foot is next to my bum. Coming up, nice solid stretch down the front of the thigh there. Tuck the tailbone. Maybe you can get your shoulders back to the wall. This feels a little bit easier for me on this side. It's always just good to notice your good and bad sides. Maybe you want to bring your arms up, so that feels a lot better for me on this leg. Whew. And then dropping the whole thing forwards. So if I scoot the front leg, do my little caterpillar toes, drop the hips, bum bum, there we go. Now I can feel more of a hip flexor stretch. Just be careful of your knees. I'm saying that partly. I've had a dodgy knee since about July on this side. I don't know what I've done to it really. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back, try and find the wall.
If I've got the wall, I can try and bring my head back. And then I'm looking for my foot. There it is.
And actually, that just feels a little bit wrong to me. Something's not happy, so I'm going to come out of that one. Phew. Okay. Woo! Oh, goodness me. Okay, let's do a wall walk. So with the wall walks, you don't have to get to the floor, and I would say it took me a very, very, very long time to be able to walk all the way to the floor. I still find this exercise utterly terrifying. What you can do as different options is maybe put some blocks or boxes, so you're never going to crash all the way down. Only go as far as you want to. Maybe you only touch the wall and come back up. Maybe you walk all the way down and come back up. Or maybe, do the whole thing. See what happens. Maybe you'll get to the floor, but then you can't get off the floor. That sometimes happens to me. See what happens. I'm just going to do this the once, and then we're going to go to the mat, do some bridges, and then we're more or less finished, I think, today. So, okay. So I think one of the things that will stop you is starting too near the wall when you do these. Unless you're crazy bendy and able to basically bend in half, it's not going to work. So you need to be a reasonable distance from the wall, maybe more than you think. Try and go as far as you can, not touching the wall, and at some point you'll probably, unless you're very good at this, you'll probably bottle it and go, oh, and grab the wall. It's what I do. You might get all the way down, and hats off to you if you can. That's the goal. Don't take those feet too wide, maybe slightly wider than hip width, but certainly no more than about here. Okay, bum clench, so the glutes are pushing the hips forwards. It makes it look like my back's bending. Not yet, my back isn't really doing anything. Now my back's bending. I'm going to come out of that because the door handle's there. Hang on. I don't want to hit the door handle. Okay, again. Procrastinating? Me? No? Yes. Hate these. So there's my bridge. Straight arms, and now I'm going to try and walk back up. This also utterly terrifies me. And I always preach to come up straight forwards, don't twist. I just twisted. Sue me. Yay, okay, cool. Woo! So let's take it back to the mat. I think we need to switch some abs on after that. Whew. I am going to finish this a teensy-weensy bit early today, simply because my mum's my mum's lunch is ready very soon, and I arrived a bit late to her house. So, sad excuse, but I've got a nice roast chicken waiting downstairs. Okay, so, a little bit of abs, a little bit of bridges. Let's get it done. What shall we do for abs today? Whew, okay. Just curl your way around for a second. Okay, from here we're going to walk the feet down, little flutter kicks, down for 8, up for 8, 3 times. So I'm here, and my feet are just doing some little walks. So going 1, 2, 3, lower back, glued to the floor, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. If you need to just clench your fists and put them under your bum to protect the lower back, you can do. I find that means my abs don't do anything. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Last 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, abs. Keep that lower back rounded into the mat. 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, so the abs have just been reminded that they exist. let's do some bridges. If you'd rather do a shoulder bridge at this point, it's great for your bum muscles. You can clasp your hands, clench your shoulder blades together and get a good old back arch there. I'm going to go into a full bridge and I'm going to rock forwards and backwards 5 times before I come down. Here we go. Try and take off in one big whoosh, whoosh, and push back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I've just peeked at my reflection on the iPad there, and my my elbow, sorry, slightly bent. They should be straight, so I'm trying, but it's still, bridges are something I've still not got good at since I used to be alright with them. Next time, we're going to do some press-ups. Now, you can push your forehead to the ground and just headbutt the floor, or you can try and kiss the floor, which takes a bit more flexibility, or you can simply hold a bridge and forget about doing little press-ups. Here we go. You might find you don't touch the floor at all. You could do little mini press-ups too. 5 times. Here we go. Lift it up. Okay. So I'm going to headbutt the floor, keeping the elbows narrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, and we're rolling down. It's just occurred to me we didn't do any cobra stretches today. So let's just quickly turn over, whack out a cheeky cobra. That would probably have made that bridge a little bit easier. And then call it a day there. Ooh. Alright, so I'm just going to do this facing you guys. Whew. Okay, so, ooh, boobs. So you want to drive your shoulders back, lift the upper back first, middle back second, cruising through the lower back. Yum, yum, there it is. Collarbones are going forwards towards the camera and then up. Chest bone goes forwards and up. And then the end of the chest bone goes forwards and lifts. So I'm trying to curl around and face my chest to the ceiling and roll down. Let's do one more as the warm-up version. Then we'll push. Sorry, I'm just amused by my own boobs. Doesn't take much. Okay, this one I'm going to try and bend as far as possible, which won't be very impressive. But I need to start with my arms slightly further back. So I've got my hands next to my ribs. The upper back's going to lift between the shoulder blades, followed by the mid back and the lower back. Oh. Staying here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There, now really, we should have done the cobra about 5 or 10 minutes ago, but hey, never mind. Curl back, give your back a little stretch the other way. So I am sorry, I'm going to have to finish just a teensy bit early today. I have talked quite a lot of rubbish today. I think it's because I'm tired, so I'm sorry if I've been rambling a little bit about nothing. Woo! But hopefully that's set you up to then now go off and work on something you might want to do. So think of that as your 55-minute warm-up. Maybe you want to trot off and do some splits, trying to get your head to your foot back there. Maybe you want to work on some more wall walks or work on your bridges. Maybe needle scale, but hopefully that's given you a few bits and bobs. My shoulders actually feel really nice right now. So I hope yours do too. Have a very lovely day. And I will see you all in person, I'm sure, very soon. Bye, 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 bye.